Okay, this question is from uh, a student from Instagram. This is the name. This is the username of the student. It's look like saying Julie Gazzelli. This is the username of the student on Instagram. That asked this question. So basically, what this is a quadratic equation. So they wanted you to solve for this and find an answer. So when you're solving the quadratic equation, quadratic means that there's the highest power is 2. If the highest power was 3, it would be like a cubic equation. So when you're solving those, the possibility for two answers for x. One and there's a formula that gives you those answers. I will break down the formula for you and then combine it so you can understand exactly how to solve a quadratic equation. And when you next time you run into a problem like that, you'll know exactly what to do. So, first of all, the first thing you do is when you get an equation like this, the first thing you do, you put everything. Let me put it on this side. So when you get an equation like that, the first thing you do, you put everything that has x on the one, every every part of the equation on one side, usually the left side. So you have 5x squared minus 4x. So here we had equal to 6. So that 6 is going to transfer from here to here. So we're going to switch that 6 from here to here. So that's 6 here. But the sign here was positive. We're going to change that sign to negative. It's equal to 0, right? So now here's one thing that's going to be really important. This equation, they have a name for each of those terms. That's how the formula comes from. This term here in front of the x is called A. This is called B. And guess what? This is called C. So the formula to solve for x is x is equal to minus b. We already named them. Plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4a times c divided by 2a. So this thing here is called a discriminant, and you don't really have to worry about that name, and I'll break down it to you and show you in your case. And I saw the answer choices in your case. In the case that you showed me, this is how they write the solution, but I'll break it down for you to understand. So the B here is this part, the C here is this, the A here is here. So we already have everything we need to solve this equation. So what we gotta do is just solve it. So we got x is equal to minus b. B is already minus 4, so we put minus 4. Plus or minus. What that means is there are two solutions for x. A solution with the plus sign, a solution with the negative sign. So there are two x's that satisfy this equation. The reason for that is the power is 2. So if you had a cubic equation, at most you can have 3 x's that satisfy this equation. If the power was to the 4th, you can have up to 4 solutions that satisfy the equation, and so on and so forth. So here, the power is 2nd. We have 2 solutions that satisfy this equation. And when I break it down for you, you'll see exactly that there are 2 solutions. Sometimes you can have one. Of course, there's an equation that has no solutions, but you can have up to 2 solutions that satisfy this equation. You can't have 3 because it's the 2nd power. So plus or minus b squared. Okay, so that guy called b, let's square it. Negative 4 squared minus 4ac. That's part of the formula, that 4a, which is 5, c, which is negative 6 divided by 2a. 2 is part of the formula, a, which is 5. Now, here's the thing. When you're setting this up, you gotta make sure that you put you name those correctly, because if you use this formula, you have to name them correctly. The number and the sign that is in front of the x squared, that's what we call a, and then the one that's in front of the x, that's what we call b, the number and the sign, and the one that's by itself, the constant, that doesn't have any x in front of it, that's what we call c. So here we have minus b, minus 4, because minus 4 was b. So think about this whole thing right here. This is b, this is a, and this is c. So minus 4 plus or minus 4 squared, negative, plus or minus b squared minus 4ac. For a is 5, c is negative 6, divided by 2a. So let's solve this. I don't see my calculator here. Let's see, I think I know where it's at. Alright, so let's try to solve this. So we have x is equal to minus 4 is positive 4, plus or minus square root of, divided by, 2 times 5 is 10. I'll come back to whatever is under the square root. 2 times 5 is 10, right? So what do we have here? Negative b squared, negative 4 squared, that's 16, minus 4 times 5, 20, times 6, 120. You had a negative sign here and a negative sign here. That becomes a positive. 20, 4 times 5, 20 times 6, 120. 20 times 6, 120, divided by 2a. So what you basically have here is x is equal to 4 plus or minus the square root of 120 plus 16, that's 136, divided by 10. And let's see, I think we can reduce this a little bit further. Give me 1 second to go get my calculator. Let me picture where it's at. 1 second. I'll get my calculator and come back. Okay, there it is. I found it. Okay, so, all right, I found the calculator. Now here you go. So here what we're gonna do is square root of 136. So the square root of 136 is 2 square root of 34. That's from the calculator. I didn't do this in my head. So x is equal to 4 plus or minus the square root of 4 plus or minus. So if you can see from the camera here, let me see if I can show you this. Uh-oh, I'm blocking the light. Let's see if I can show you this. You see, 136, square root of that is 2 square root of 34. By the way, this calculator is really good, I'll tell you that. This is one of my favorites. So we have, this one is 2 square root of 34 divided by 10. In this case, what we can do here, we can simplify by 2. So let's say that we take 2 out of this factor. So we have a 2 here, and then in the numerator, we took 2 out, so we're gonna have another 2 here, because 2 times 2 is 4. It's like we factor out a 2. And then here we won't have a 2, we'll have a 34, plus or minus 34, divided by 2 times 5, because 10 is 2 times 5. So we can simplify by 2. So that means x is equal to 2 plus or minus square root of 34. Hopefully you can see this, divided by 5. So this whole thing is, the solution to this is x is equal to 2 plus or minus square root of 34 divided by 5. The plus or minus means here, if remember I said there are two solutions. If you enter the plus here, you do it in the calculator, you'll find one solution. If you enter the minus sign, you'll find the other solution. That means the first thing you would do, the first x would be 2 plus square root of 34 divided by 5. The second one will be 2 minus square root of 34 divided by 5. So yeah, again, use their IG, Instagram name. This is what you sent us, and we solved it for you. And I hope you enjoy it. And if you have any questions, you can ask us, of course. And thank you very much. And if you enjoyed this video, please share it on your page, and anyone who sees this, share it, because it'll help a lot of kids who are in school and also doing quadratic equation. Thank you very much. Again, this is Romel with the Jack's Tutor. Thank you. Check us out on Facebook. Thanks. Bye.